Hello everybody, welcome back. This is another how to use on Silent War 2.0 by Compass Games. Use the VASSAL module. I have added the IJN and everything in, so I'm going to go through and go over the how to use one more time and put this in. Hopefully this is the last video. I think everything's included now. It'll just be cleaning up anything I missed or whatnot. So we're just going to start on the main page here. Main page, basic counters down here. Did you want? When in doubt, you can always just reset to 0. I did automate the turns, so all you have to do now is click next turn. If your month, say, let's see here, I'm going to set the month. Setup is also in this counter. It's all in the week. Everything's driven by the week. So you're going to set up, say we're going to set up week 3. We're going to set up month, let's go December because that'll show me everything. And then we'll just leave the year on 41. So if we go to week 4, nothing will happen. But if we go to week 5 now, it'll go from December to January and it'll click on your next year for you. So everything you need's up there. And if you need to reset it, you just go in and set it back up again. War periods, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You just set them as you go. And torpedoes, basically the same thing. You can either increase it, decrease it, or set them direct. Um, on the main page, I have down the bottom here your ultra areas, your special mission, and your typhoon counters. Actually, I ought to add 2 more of them and make that clonable. So yeah, I will do that. This is why we test things. I think you've got like the option to have 2 or 3 of them out there in the counter mix. I'll make it the exact same as the counter mix. Typhoon counter mix. That'll be in there. I don't have to make a new video for that. All right. Next, counters, in which will also, you shouldn't really need to use these, but there are a couple in here that you will want to use. If you go into markers, miscellaneous, I have area not in use. So when you're playing a scenario where the area is not in use, go pull that out. If you click off of it, you will no longer be able to select it. If you want to select it, you'll have to hit the shift key, hold the shift key down, and then select it, and then you can move it around again. But I did that so you're not picking it up by mistake and moving it around. That's for scenarios where they're not being used. Port out. I put that in there in case you run into where a port's destroyed or you can't use it no more. You just put that over there. Same thing. If you want to select it later, got to hit shift while you're clicking on it with the mouse, and that'll allow you to select that again. A couple things added in there to make gameplay a little easier. Um, the rest of the counters you really shouldn't need, and I'd advise against using them because they may not be quite coded the same as the ones in the rest of the I don't recommend using them. I never do. I put them in there just in case, but I don't recommend using them. Let's go ahead and, well, you got your basic dice as always, and you can either read them down here or you can read them up in the block. Prep for operations, I'll go for that in a second. Let's go to submarines. All your submarines are in here. All your war starts are listed by type, and then should be in reverse alphabetical order. And then after that, they're all listed by the entry date. Now, except for when you get down here to your enemy, if you need to draw enemy subs, you grab the ones you need, you put them over here in the random, you draw out the one you're going to encounter, and then I just recommend returning them all to their locations for the next draw. British and Netherlands, they're here. They're not separated out. If you're going to use them in a scenario, you'll need to separate them out your own. Now I'm going to grab a couple of subs out to the main screen here so we can go over a couple more things. All right. First off, when you're done your turn, you're going to have everything down here. Oh yeah, let me let me explain these a little bit better. They all have a sunk, which is going to send them up here to the sunk counter. I believe they go right there. They have a tenders menu, which you will not be able to see unless you're in a eligible tenders location, which has the anchor on it. And I was not able to code it, so it had to look for a tender in there. So you'll just have to, you know, monitor that. If you don't have a tender in there, don't use the tender. Um, Kill log, I put this in here so you could write down different kills for each individual sub if you desire to. There's 20 of them there. I think in real life the highest kill count was 15, so that should be enough. You can turn them left and right. You shouldn't need to, but that's there also. Send to combat display, I'll go into that in a minute. Transit's going to put them on the transit side. Patrol will put them on the patrol side. Skipper, you're going to assign a skipper. If you get a super skipper, you're going to hit assign skipper, and you're going to put the name in. And actually, the best way to do this is to go up here in the, boy, I got to remember where I put it now, cups. I'm horrible sometimes. Um, and draw your random skipper out. And then you're going to put, say, Dealey in there. So you can go back down to skipper. Um, Skipper name Dealey. Skipper rate +1. And it's a little clunky, but I did that for a reason because I need this to follow around, and we're getting ready to get into that. So say he's done in the China Sea. Let's put him on transit just to make sure. The other thing each individual sub has is your spotted. I'm going to call him spotted, and your damaged. Say he's spotted and damaged, and he's got to return to base involuntarily, so they're all going to be there. When you select that counter, you're going to be able to see the counter and everything underneath of it. The same goes with the skipper piece. When you deselect that counter, it's going to go underneath so you have an idea that everything's in there. So, and I did that for a reason too, just so everything moves around with it. Next, when you reach the end of your, actually in your SOP up here, when you reach the ready submarines. No. Prep for operations phase 11.0 down here in our segment. You're going to just come up here and hit this button. It's going to move all your submarines back up to the operating. I did that so you don't have to spend your time going around and grabbing every piece and every counter and moving it from there to there, which is also why I stacked everything on the counters as part of the counter and not individual. Next, we will go to the port option. Now, when you go into the ports, all of a sudden your port commands are going to show up. So if you're not damaged, you're going to go straight to the broom box. If you're damaged, you go to repair hold. In this case, we're going to repair hold. Down here, you see it removes all the statuses from him. He's in repair hold. It's already twisted for you. After that, you select whichever repair you're going to. And once you're in repair 3, you're stuck with it. And then when you get to repair 1, you can go down to the broom box, and yes, it has an R on it. I did that because it's got to have separate locations, so I could do two different send tos. And from the broom box, you can go either to ready to sea or pure side, and then from ready to sea, you go right back out to Dutch Harbor. The same plays in when you go to tenders. You're going to put your tenders down here as they become available in the random tenders. So we got 3 of them at war start, and you're going to go ahead and pull one of them out, and you're going to put it, and let's say we were told to put one in midway. We'll put him down there and say the dolphin comes into midway. That will bring up your tenders menu. As you see now, you've got all different kinds of tenders menus in there. Basically, it's just telling you to send it whichever tenders in that area. So we're going to send it to the Holland because the Holland's in there. Back up to the tenders, and we see he is in the Holland's broom box. And you can either move him to the ship side or ready for sea. And then once you're done, ready to see, it goes return to operations. That will send it back out to the map board where your tender is, and then you're all ready to go. The go down here to the oddball base, which is Suriyaba. Couldn't remember it. That's going to give you, when that's active, you're going to have send a Suriyaba broom box and Suriyaba repair hold. Say we're going to the broom box Suriyaba. You just click on that, and Suriyaba is up here on the tenders chart. So you're going to have your um, sub already in there. And same will happen here. If you hit repair hold, he'll go there. I'll put him ready for C, send him back out to Suryaba, and he's ready to go. Trying to think what else I have here on that. I think that's basically it. Then we go to targets. Whenever you start a game, you're going to have to do one of two things. And you're going to do this a lot. I made it kind of easy for you. You're going to select the war period that you're in, or if you're playing 1932, you're going to select this one. Or if you're playing the Indian Ocean scenario, you're going to select one of these. So we're War Period 1. We're going to hit that, and that's going to automatically set up your cups. And you only have to do that. I think the rules recommend doing it every couple of months. You can do it as much as you want. You start memorizing the cup layout. You just come into the cups over here, and you can reset them. As you see, they're all right here. We don't have to do anything with that right now, as that's going to be, and it is random. I've checked that out how many times. It may not look like it is random, but it is. Um, Reset the trucks. Say you're starting to recognize it already. Reset the cups there. Send them back. Just reset your war period. That has your cups set up, and that's going to bring me to let's get the combat display up there. Let's send the dolphin to the combat display. He's going to wind up here. You're going to put him wherever you want him. I just did it that way for shits and giggles. Say we've rolled a 3-2-2. We're going to go ahead and draw down our targets. And say we're going to, let's just say he can do two of them. We're going to go ahead and unmask these two. And yes, this one does have a draw IGN. This one will not. If it doesn't have an IGN on it, it should not allow you to draw an IGN. But this one does. That's a AM. We're going to draw an A. Oh, I forgot to set up. Got ahead of myself. IGN. You're going to have to do this also. Set up 1932. Oh boy, that will be over there. You're going to have to set up 1932 or 1941. And once you hit that, there's no looking back, basically. Um, I don't have a command to send them back to all the stacks because there's just so many of them. But now it's set up, you will be able to draw your IGN over here and just separate that off to the side and return this. If the the hardest thing I was not able to code in all the dates and everything, so you will be responsible for separating out if you draw something that's ineligible. Just send it back to the deck and draw another IGN. See that one. Say you're not yet in 44. You're going to return that to the deck. I got to get rid of those two commands too. You don't need them. And we're going to draw another one. So he's eligible. Then we can go ahead and return this one to the deck, and that's our new. Now we're going to draw, say, two TDCs. We're just going to draw our two TDCs right here. Unmask them. I got a nice TDC on it too. And when you're done the encounter, just clean up, and that will make things easy. I may include dice up here just to make it easy to roll dice. But I mean, it's not that hard to roll them up here either. So I'll see how I feel about that one. When you're done with the combat display, you should be able. Oh yes, the other thing I forgot to mention: when you hit send a combat display, this current operating area will pop up in the area he came from. When you return him to the operating area, he should go back to where he belongs, and you can delete that out. Cups, IJN, I already showed you how to set them up. That will automatically set everything up, and it'll do random for the single counter options that are out there. Every one of these should be able to be sunk. If they get sunk, that will send them up to the sunk display over here. I don't have them set them out. You can always move them out, move them around. Unnecessary coding. And it's starting to bog down as it is, so I didn't do that. I have an SOP here for your convenience, so you can walk your way through it and remember where you're at if you have to interrupt your game. I have notes in here so you can keep track of notes. And screenshot always, and your basic zoom controls. I don't think I've forgotten anything. There's a lot to it, so I may have, but as always, you can always reach out to me and I'll answer any questions on these. So I hope you guys enjoy. This should be complete. I don't think there's anything wrong at this point. I'm going to start playtesting. I want to get some time. And I do want to look into market. Um, asked about putting in player sides for the various. So if you co-op, you'd have names. So I've got to look into that. I may or may not put that in there for just fluff, and if it's not too involved, I'll stick it in there and have the pieces selectable by each one. I have something else I have to look into, but I wanted to get this out there in testing first. So there you have it. Thanks everybody for joining me. Silent War by Compass Games. This is how to use the VASSAL module with the IJN addition in there. Do not forget when you set up a game, set your war period and set your IJN. Those two will have to happen, or the controls won't work correctly. Thanks everybody for your time. You all have a good night, and we will see you next time.